PM. Oh, sorry. 6:30 PM, and it is Wednesday, the 15th of January, 2025, and we're calling the election board meeting to order. So on the agenda, the first item is to review and approve the minutes, and I believe everyone received them by email, and you now have a copy. So I'm going to read through it again now. So if we can do that, and we'll approve the minutes.
Okay.
Does anyone note anything that needs to be changed? I will just vote, I don't think it needs to be changed, but I will note that it says you had secured 6 poll workers. And one poll worker did contact me and I was able to accommodate her. So I don't know, I didn't get anything on the additional one. So, and we have a pretty lengthy list, as you know, of poll workers to draw from. So if you can look up those 6 workers, contact information or whatever, and just forward it to me.
Okay.
And we'll just leave it as it is there. I think, was there anything else? God bless Dr. Pat. I think I'm willing to approve as is. Motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the general discussion portion is that we have the forms that are necessary to file to get on the schedule for the county to commit to procuring and using their machines, which is mandated, and then getting a planner into them with all the information. That's all ready to be signed. The only thing we need to add to what I have already to do that is the insurance information. So I need them to procure that. We have ample time. We're not on any deadline for this. But we'll do that and get it in as quickly as possible. So that's been addressed. I've only had a question or two thus far because we're so early in the process. And I think everybody knows the qualifying measures to vote. One thing I noted, there are a few things in our code, I think, that may need to be reviewed or updated. One, considering that July meeting, which we had discussed, you know, electing a secretary, which we don't do anymore. We're a president, which just a chair that contains. But I noticed in looking and following up on a few issues that were concerns in 2023. One of them had to do with having all the candidates on the ballot qualified registered voters. And we discovered, as you recall, you know, that wasn't the case with everyone. But when I looked at the code and just reviewing, it also says, and we got that, I got that voter, that candidate registered within 48 hours of the election day. And our code says that they have to be qualified registered voters at least 5 days prior to the election. So that's something to note.
That's typical, if I may interject, just because they need enough time to give you the registration information.
Right.
Typical to have 5 days. I think in the case that you're talking about, what you told me about,
Mhm.
the candidate was registered, it was just misapplied in the state.
He was not registered. He had applied, he had sent the
Right,
form
right,
in,
right.
but he was not registered.
Mhm.
He went into some limbo file.
Right, but he had attempted to register.
He had attempted, yes,
Right.
but he was not registered. So he was registered within 2 days of the election. So
Okay.
that's something to note moving forward. If we, hopefully we will not have that situation again, because we did take good care for the following one, following that particular election,
Okay.
to make certain, and Diane took care of it, I believe, to make certain in the office that everyone who came in to pick up a packet and who returned the packet was fully vetted, that we knew that they were, I mean, you know, anyone can, not anyone, but I mean, the voter or the candidate could have checked his, he just didn't think, he thought he had received something from us that was old, which wasn't the case, but you know, we didn't have anything. But I just wanted to note that that's something to look at moving forward. And what else do we need to do here? I've got a very healthy list of prospective workers. Some have worked in the past, some have been waiting on a list and didn't make it in the past, but are available this year. And so that's in order. And this early on, we're pretty much setting dates, you know, and so the notice of the solicitation of candidates is up. It's on the website. It's posted. And do we have a copy of it here?
Yeah, it should be with your packet.
Did we, when you said about the list of candidate or poll workers?
Mhm.
Did, is this
Sorry.
recent that you contacted them, so that if you reach out to them?
Right now, there's no need to reach out to them. I just want to get anyone you've already connected with. If there are people, like there was a woman, the last person that we got on last time, you know, she was calling looking for information about the training. But I had no information about her. She wasn't on the list to get the training, so we worked it out. But at this point, we're just starting, and you know, there's already like half the poll workers are already pretty secured. So, but we'll review it and we'll discuss it at a further meeting. But if there is anyone, send them on, you know, now or as quickly as possible. So the solicitation of candidates, which is posted now, is first date to run, February 3rd is the first, and the last day is February 28th. And at this point, they're the two questions that come to us most often. When can I file? And when does that period close to file? And of course, the election itself is April 12th, 2025. And the important thing to note about this one is that it will be held at the senior center again. And Goodwill was wonderful. I mean, and they really handled everything well, but we're using their facilities on a day when they are working, you know, so it can be a problem if they get a call. and then we have to share, we have to go into the bay to use their bathroom, and there's nothing that's like the public one, and we have to go in and, they turned the kitchen over to us, but you're sharing everything. So, so we talked about it, and I wanted to check with you, I meant that earlier too. Do you confirm with the senior center?
Yeah, they confirmed with me last week that they're still available.
Yeah.
Someone's on vacation, so
Oh,
when they
okay.
return on Monday, they'll let me know. But they already confirmed that it was fine. So-
Yeah, she told me that. I had a meeting with her
Yeah.
last Tuesday.
Yep.
And I have to send her a note tonight about something else, so
Okay,
I'll say.
yeah, I sent her an email yesterday.
Okay, we're good then. Okay, so does anyone have any questions from the board about anything that we're going to do or where we are with this? No? Okay, well, with that, and does the office have anything they want to address here with the board? No. Okay, so with that, then we will, I will open the, meeting to public comments.
Good evening, Bill Gross, 1301 13th Street. Two things I want to hit on. One is the shortened time for potential candidates to sign up. I know you had gone over it last night, but state, and I did check today with two attorneys, state does not mandate on that window. For some reason, somebody somewhere wanted to close that window tight as it could go. I'm requesting that it be put back to the way it's been. Wasn't broken, it worked. So I'll put in a formal request, but I figured I'd preview it since everybody's here now. So my question is, that meeting to decide that should happen, when was that held?
I'll let you continue with your comment. I'll speak to it.
Okay, so that was one. Who was invited? Was the public part of it? And what was the reasoning behind that decision? So that's the first. Second, I put in a formal complaint, and this year I will go forward further than just a complaint if Rodney Pratt is still left on this commission. I heard, and I can get affidavits to that effect if needed, where he made comments at the last election about candidates that were running. He's too chummy, he walks dogs, he's just inappropriate and borderlines illegal to be in this position. So again, I will formally follow up with a complaint by Friday. But I figured I'd bring it to this board first to see if you care to keep it within before it goes on to social media and to a formal complaint. Thank you for your service and listening to me.
Thank you for your comments.
Do you want to respond to?
Yeah, well, are you okay with me responding?
Mhm.
Sure. So.
I don't believe there's any question asked of me, you just
No,
made your
no, you're the
comments.
greatest. I
He made his comment, there's nothing for me to address, but you,
Okay, so, as the new administrator and of course, as an administrator period, it was my responsibility to work with office staff to review all the, dates and the, documents for the election. We reviewed the dates and the documents in accordance with the state code and our code. The solicitation period for candidates is only a required minimum of 20 days. We are allowing 26 days. The former date was January. I didn't see any reason why. There was no other, code or anything requiring it to start in January, so we just shortened it to be more compliant with the minimum requirement, and we gave it a little bit of extra time. So we had that double checked by our attorney to make sure all of our dates were in compliance. You and I spoke with Diane, and the decision was made. It was just an administrative decision. There's no.
So what was the reason for visiting that besides compliance? Because compliance is not mandatory. meaning that part of the election process is not a mandatory window. If it
Correct,
was,
but all dates were being reviewed and all processes were being reviewed. Simple as
okay,
that.
so it was an internal decision.
Yeah, it was my administrative decision,
Okay.
correct?
And so there was no meeting?
Yeah, I met with the chair to just go over the dates.
Okay, and it wasn't open to the public?
No, there's no requirement for that.
We had no meeting to determine the change.
Right, I let her know that I was making the change.
Yeah,
And she was
okay.
satisfied with that, and we consulted with the attorney, and that was no problem.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
I'd just like to jump in on that, Michael Platt, Van Lake Village. Somebody's not telling the truth here. Because as of yesterday, the mayor states in writing,
What is that?
so her Facebook post. from
Okay.
Mayor Valerie Leary. The decision to reduce the filing window was made after a meeting with the Board of Election Chair, the attorney, conferring that the council was neither, not necessary. So you're saying there was no meeting, and the mayor's saying that
No, we just said there was a meeting.
No, you just
I
said there
made the
wasn't. You said you made it strictly on your own.
I did.
So
And then I
there's
met
no
with the
meetings.
chair.
All you did was inform them then at that meeting. Okay, well, that's not,
Well,
what
I don't know
that's not what the mayor
wrote on
wrote.
Facebook. That has
That's
to
not
be
what the
a
mayor
separate-
wrote.
That's
So
fine.
somebody's lying is, that's all I'm saying.
Well,
But once again, I
Why?
agree with Phil. Why was it changed? What? We, excuse me, there's a lot of things we don't comply with the state with. There's a lot of things we don't comply with the county with. Why, we brag about being a historic town. And
Sure.
everybody wants to be historic. Well, historically, this has been done like this since George Washington. So why change it now?
There was just no need to have such a long period, and there was no rationalization to why.
You just said there's no rationalization to what you did. Very good.
No,
Thank you.
no.
That's exactly what you said, man.
I said.
Thank you.
No, I'll continue with what I'm saying, which is, there was no rationalization to have it begin in January. Thank you.
I would just like to add one thing, and confirm that there was no actual formal meeting. I met, with our administrator, there was no attorney, there was no mayor.
Right.
We just discussed that the change had been made and it would be on the, solicitation.
With all due respect, the mayor is throwing you under the bus.
The mayor had no conversation.
I have no comment.
No, I'm just going by what she stated publicly on her official city mayor website or Facebook page.
That's fine, but that's not the official communication of the city.
She's the mayor and anything she does is official. If she puts her name, Mayor Valerie Leary, that is now an official city document.
Yeah, the official city document is the solicitation of candidate, which was posted on the website.
My other question is, where was it posted and when?
It was just January.
On the
first.
Put on the website.
And now,
And you're under the
on the
alert.
board.
When? I can't find it on the website today.
Well, the
Beginning of January.
elections in April.
And the election-
So there
I'm
used
just
to
asking
be.
when
I
the
still
election-
can't find it on the website
Find
today.
out the time.
Under
I can check.
community,
Beginning of January.
Excuse me, Dane?
The 30th?
under community.
No,
January, or was it till February?
no, you've got, you've got the,
Pull down the drop down.
last day to file.
Drop
and
down.
the
Do you see
first
the election?
day- The last day to file is
Election
February
I know,
28th.
before,
election.
I wanted to go last time, what was
Government.
it, January 3rd to January 31st? Is it just?
No, the last day to file didn't change. The
Do you want-
last
do you
day to
want
file
to
is the
put it
end of
on the
February.
No, nobody
So
touched
it was
it.
always.
No, I won't touch it. I can check.
Or maybe it was the beginning of.
Scroll down a little more under that.
I'd have to
government
look
tab.
at the last, but the
There's
question
one there,
for
then
me
go into
is
the
because
community, and it might be on the bottom.
they closed a month before the election.
Should be
So there was an additional month, that where candidates were already.
I'll try to
on the
follow. I don't see.
ballot. So you're not on a ballot. I mean, I don't know how that affects everything, whether you would begin campaigning or you probably couldn't make campaign size, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or anyway.
Yeah, but if you're not actually on a ballot, I don't even know how much materials of any nature, never mind signs, that's obvious because they're not supposed to anyway. But, and that's a gentleman's
That's all, I
agreement,
just wondered.
Go under department. And then scroll down, election information.
I'm sorry, I have a side.
It's right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions or comments from the floor?
Is there gonna be any action taken regarding Mr. Pratt?
From whom?
from you and the city administrator as far as allowing him to continue in the position of the Board of Elections?
This will be further explored in the Board of Elections. We've discussed it in the past and
Okay.
you know what the procedures are.
Okay,
They're mandated, you know, that it's pretty clear what the procedures are. So if there's nothing else, I can conclude that the meeting has concluded. Any motion to adjourn?
Second.
Aye. Thank you very much for everyone
Thank you.
who participated, who attended.